What's up, YouTube? I am here at Floating Sea Aquatics. It's like a cafe and a fish store and a reptile store right here in Jacksonville. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now. I just finished up my last course of the MBA. Let's go look at some awesome fish. You guys know how much I love fish. I love all animals. We've got a bunch of reptiles, fish. Let's go see what we can find.
Our community center. These aquariums work on multitudes of different facades. The first one is the fact that a lot of people have their aquariums at home, but they don't know how to make it look natural, right? Everyone has fake plants, fake this, flat landscape. They don't know how to bring the natural world into their homes. So we have different styles of aquariums, different sizes, different species of fish. You obviously have freshwater, saltwater. I've got my flower horn cichlid over here to show people that they are a singular fish and how aggressive they are, and he's always right there at the camera.
Could you keep it with stuff like arowana or?
Not with your flower horn. So it's not recommended because the flower horn is just an extremely aggressive fish. I mean, as you can see, he's right there. I mean, no matter where you are, he's always going to want to fight whatever's close. That's what that big knot on top of his head is for.
Yeah, so it's like dominance. So it's like kind of like with the rhinos have a bigger horn, they show their dominance like the...
Yep. And because of their beauty, you wouldn't want to keep them with anything too aggressive either, because you wouldn't want them getting damaged. That horn up there getting bit can be pretty damaging. This is actually a brackish water aquarium.
You see, you got some monos here. These can actually, believe it or not, mono sea baits. You can also be found in salt water, and then start off in fresh water, but as you gradually increase the salinity, you can actually move them to salt water, which I think is pretty cool. Kind of like a bull shark. Straight
to a complete saltwater aquarium up to like 2.5, 2.6 salinity.
Pretty cool.
So in here we've got your bumblebee goby. I believe I have one or two bumblebee gobies in there hiding somewhere. Got your leopard puffers, your mono shrimp as you saw, and then...
Are these barracudas here?
Yes, those are little yellow-tailed barracuda, little tiny dwarf barracudas.
I don't know if you guys remember the movie Finding Nemo. The barracuda was the fish that destroyed the marlin's mom's other eggs, and Nemo's the only one that survived. Was actually a barracuda. Though you may think those are mostly saltwater, but those are actually can be found in freshwater and brackish water as well, which I think another cool species here.
Absolutely, and these are actually a dwarf species, so these are actually never going to get as big as that large barracuda, right? Over here you've got your goldfish, your specialty goldfish anyways. You've got your arondas, your black moray, your lionhead.
Yeah, one of the things I want to show you guys about these goldfish here is oftentimes these guys get released into the wild, which is really bad for the ecosystem. If you guys ever get an animal and you ever have to get rid of it, never ever release it into the wild. The reptile hobby, the fish hobby, many exotic pet industries are going to be affected by this. So if you ever have to get rid of whatever animal, find rescue.
So it's actually what we're here for as well. So like I was saying, the first point of these aquariums is for visual aid on what to create at home, correct? The second one is these are all rescues. Every single aquarium that you see around you in this area right here, every fish that you see here has been donated, has been rescued. We did not spend any money on any of this. These are fish in the community that instead of being released, like you said, in the wild to become an invasive species, they are now able to retire here, be watched, be taught about, to the community. The last tank over here that I have is the South American cichlid tank. So in here, we're still working on this one. So you've got very dark tannins. It's why the water is so black. The wood that we have is called manzanita wood. Manzanita wood is one of the darkest staining of your wood. We are going to be changing it up to clear it all out. But I've got a green tear in the back.
Yeah, you see him right there.
A big blood parrot. So this guy is actually 12 years old. Wow. This blood parrot right there. And I've got a Jack Dempsey, a couple more parrots, and a red devil swimming around.
Oftentimes when people think of cichlids, they often associate with Lake Malawi, Lake Victoria, but there are cichlids found almost every year. They're also found here in the U.S., in Texas, I think some in Florida. They've also become invasive in Florida, which is unfortunate.
Absolutely. We actually have Oscars completely living throughout our entire ecosystem here in Florida.
Now also found in South America, like these are all South American animals. The cichlids are beautiful in their own right, but oftentimes you don't associate freshwater with beautiful fish, but this is a proof for you. These are the most beautiful freshwater fish, in my opinion. So
this is our 4,000-gallon freshwater pond.
Freshwater.
So we're able to rescue the much larger fish here. So you've got your large koi, Now, this is not something we would recommend doing at home, right? Which is combining your koi fish with your cichlids. And then there's combining the cichlids in here, right? Because we do have African peacocks in here, umbunas, but at the same time, I've got your South American Oscars. I've got a wolf cichlid, which is also known as the dovi. I've got some pacu. So the pacu that I have here are going to outgrow this pond. Even being 4,000 gallons, it's not the gallons of water, it's actually the height of the water. Those will get roughly about, what, like 18 inches, 24 inches in diameter. So we are going to be working with the local Jacksonville Zoo to donate them to the Jacksonville Zoo whenever they've outgrown this pond.
That's nice. I look at that koi here. A lot of times, these are bred in Japan, believe it or not. It's bred for specific colors and patterns. They would outlive a human. The oldest koi on record is, I've heard, 250 years old, which I think is insane for a fish. Believe it or not, some koi can sell for up to $50,000, maybe even more. I think I've heard rumors of them being $1 million, which is insane. I mean, you got your kids' college fund, you got one fish, but I think koi are really cool animals. If you have the space for them, they make really good displays, but you got to find somebody who's going to take care of it because it's going to outlive you.
This pond here is obviously the saltwater pond, right? So this is, again, 4,000 gallon saltwater pond. And here, this is a little bit of my favorite display here.
Oh yeah.
So this cute little guy right here, this is E.T. He is our porcupine puffer. Right now he's not giving me any mind, but usually he'll be right up at the water, spitting water in my face.
I've seen puffers.
Because of the temperature, it is cooler in here right now. Right now the building is about 68 degrees. The water's pretty low. The fish are kind of dormant. Usually my fish are swimming all over. They'll come right up to the surface because they think I'm going to feed at all times. Wow. But everyone right now is very relaxed because of the cold water.
For all you Finding Nemo fans, porcupine puffer was below in the aquarium and the dentist's office, I remember. Puffers.
Volcano!
Did I hear that? But these guys would often insert water to make themselves look bigger, and these guys have personality. I've heard stories of puffers bringing balls to their owners, which I think is really cool. So, but they're not for everyone. I wouldn't say they're for beginner fish keepers, but I'd say if you have the space for them, you have the experience. We've got Dory over there.
I've actually got 2 sharks in here as well.
Ooh, wow.
So I have a bamboo shark that's hiding in the rocks, as well as an epaulette shark. The epaulette shark is a little bit more uncommon in the trade, but it's a very beautiful.
It is beautiful.
3.5, 4 foot long spotted shark.
The epaulette shark is actually able to walk on water. I don't know if you guys are big, because I don't know about you, but I'm a big tanked fan. I remember they did put epaulette sharks in Antonio Brown's tanks, which I think is pretty cool.
A 6 foot moray eel that is going to be rescued to us. He is like zoological size.
Wow. Green moray?
He is a 6 foot long green moray eel, and from what I understand, at his neck, he's roughly at about 16 to 18 inches thick. That's how large of an eel he is.
It's the size of a python almost.
Absolutely.
See, we got a lionfish.
He's going to be a monster in here.
But the lionfish, these guys are venomous, so if you're ever going to keep a lionfish, you got to be very careful. I don't think these are necessarily fatal. Now, lionfish are very invasive here in Florida. These guys are found most likely from the aquarium trade, but I think maybe released pets, or I don't know if it was hurricane or something. But they are invasive here, which is unfortunate. Again, we never want invasive species to be a problem or to be anywhere they're not supposed to be. But these are found more in the Indo-Pacific region. But they are beautiful in their own right. They're called lionfish because when they have a defense mechanism, they look like they have a mane almost. I like the way the patterns. You get many kinds. My personal favorite is the Fumanchu because I think it looks really beautiful in its own right, but I love lionfish. Again, not for everyone. You got to be careful because these guys are venomous.
I actually had a customer in here a few months back telling me how she kept a lionfish for over 10-15 years. One day she was cleaning the aquarium, as you do, with her hand in the glass. Now this fish and her had seen each other every single day for 15-20 years. And one day he just felt like he had an attitude, and he actually aimed the 2 side fins right here, aimed them forward like so, and then actually bolted directly at her, hitting her with 12 of his points. So she went to epileptic shock by herself in her home. They, like you said though, they are not fatally toxic to humans, but they do deliver a very, very bad toxin, and if you're diving underwater, it's going to be very dangerous. This is
So
an
acoustic?
animal that, after Minecraft, has blown up in the pet trade because everyone's seen them out. All the children, anyways, have seen them on Minecraft.
Yeah.
They want them, but we here try to educate the people on the complexity that it is keeping these things, right? So this aquarium seems fine and quite easy, but what you're not seeing is that
chiller.
machine. That is a chiller. To properly keep your axolotls healthy and thriving, you have to keep your waters below 65 degrees, right?
Yes.
To do so, you're either having to use consistent ice packs, fans on the aquarium, or a large device like this, which is called a chiller. Now your heaters, they run between what, $12 to $100 depending on the heater, whereas these can run you minimum a couple $100.
Wow.
So we try to teach people that these are a very fun, cute, adorable pet, but they are very, very hard to keep healthy and thriving.
Yeah. You guys know how much I've shown off axolotls whenever I go to Repticon. I've shown, this is the leucistic one, it's a recessive trait. You got stuff like albinos. Again, I don't know if you guys, hope you guys heard what he said. These are not easy to keep for everyone. You gotta have a chiller, you gotta have the right temperature. And an interesting fact about axolotls is that they can lose their limbs and they can regenerate with no problem. So therefore they're being used in medical research, which I think is, always think is so unique about them. Beautiful animal, again, not for everyone.
Your South American tank. Here I have your African tanks. So over here I actually have your Tanganyikans. So these are all, I have shell dwellers in here. That's why I actually have these snail shells. These fish are living in and out of the shells. They dart in and out. They're very adorable, very small.
The Tanzania, which is in Malawi, I think. Yep, these are in Malawi.
So these are your peacocks. So we keep your peacocks and your haps together in this aquarium. I have your Malawis, your umbunas over there. But the reason why I have them separated is obviously their care is different, right? Your peacocks, your haps, they require much more open water aquariums. So a lot less structure is in this aquarium. You have one nice piece of driftwood for aesthetic purposes, but besides that, you want something large, like 6 feet wide for your peacocks and haps, and then not much structure and debris
These are beautiful.
besides that. Your mbunas are your rock dwellers. So in Lake Malawi, these are going to be the ones living along the shoreline of the lake, whereas your peacocks and haps are living more towards the middle of the lake, so a lot more open. So whenever you're creating an mbuna tank, instead of an open big tank, you're confining these fish to rocks. Having them dart in and out keeps them nice and happy. The more rock you have, the more housing, the more mbunas you can pack. So these you can actually get away with minimum 65, 75 gallon aquarium is what we here at Floating Sea Aquatics recommend. That way you can get yourself some nice rock structure, whereas your peacocks and haps, we recommend you never go anything less than 100 gallons.
How beautiful they are.
Yo, AC guys.
I always say,
Just
African cichlids are the most beautiful freshwater fish in my opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinions, but they are beautiful. Some people think the colorful fish in freshwater can't be this beautiful. I don't know what's wrong with you, because have a look at how beautiful they are. Like, I just love the colors. Yep.
So this is our glowfish display. This is an area where we can teach our community, specifically the children, about the practice of glowfish. A lot of questions that we get from our fish are, can I keep my glowfish with my regular fish? Will they have an issue? And the truth is, they're the same. They really are the same. So these would technically be black skirt tetras. This would be a zebra danio, and we've got Priscilla tetras over here. We've got long fin tetras. This is actually a Cory, you know, a little Cory Dory. He's actually not doing so hot, but we've got some Cory Dories right over here.
Another one over here.
These fish are all the same species. The only difference is, so this is actually a 5-year project on every species. It takes about 3 to 4 generations for the fish to come out this way, but the original bloodline starts out with the scientists or the breeders injecting the eggs of these fish with the fluorescent gene of the jellyfish. So 3-4 generations of breeding that in, their babies all come out looking like this. Genetically speaking though, there is no difference. So you can keep your glowfish with any of the other regular tropical fish.
Wow, look how beautiful they are. Believe it or not, these were actually used to, I think they were created to detect pollutants in the water, is that correct?
I actually did not know about that. That's quite interesting to hear.
Look how well these guys glow. These guys are so beautiful, really pretty. Again, they're not much different than your regular fish. You can keep them together, but I just love how they glow in the dark here. Look at this here.
Bearded dragons.
Have a look at these guys. Look at that chunky monkey there.
So that's our big girl right there, and her male is down over here. Actually, I'm sorry. That is the male, that is the female. I mistaken him because usually his beard is much darker. He's usually flared up. But they're a breeding pair, which is why I have the dig box right over there for her to start laying her eggs. Nice. She is gravid at the moment.
Wow. Bearded dragons are the #1 pet lizard in the world. In fact, I think these are the 3rd best, most popular pet. Moms like bearded dragons because they encourage kids to eat their salad, but they're easy to keep, really placid, but they're beautiful. I just wish Australia would allow people to, I was here in America, to import their albinos and whatever stuff they have, because they are just so fantastic.
So here we have Cowboy. He is a rescue ball python that we received, I think, on the 2nd month of actually us being open. So Cowboy is one of the largest
Big he is.
male, he's actually let me rephrase that, the largest male ball python I have ever seen personally. Usually your male ball pythons, they don't exceed, 3.5?
Nope.
Maybe pushing 4 feet, maybe?
Yeah, barely. I mean,
He's over 4 feet, pushing 5.
Is he a just normal ball python?
He is a normal ball python. Now, I've recently heard that there is a gene of ball python that is known to grow larger than the others.
the Volta, which is like
Volta,
in
yes.
the Benin area.
So I believe he may have some Volta in him, but I've never personally seen a Volta. I don't know if there's a pattern difference in them or anything like that, but he is a proven male, like I said. He's over 4 feet long. He's phenomenal.
He's beautiful. Now,
very, very tame.
You guys remember when I was in South Africa with my friend DJ Van Wyck? He had a huge ball python. When I first saw it, I thought it was an African rock python. Again, the ball python is the #1 pet snake because they're docile. They don't move too much. So corn snake can be a bit squirmy, but a ball python is the way to go if you're looking for a first-time snake owners. So here in Florida, they want to ban ball pythons because they're worried that they'll be an invasive species.
They already are. So there are breeding populations of ball pythons here in Florida. They are not massive. It's not a danger, to the communities, say like the Burmese pythons. So they have not prohibited them, but the state of Florida is not a place for your reptile keeping anymore. To be honest with you, as the years go by, these rules are getting more intense for your reptiles. So these two critters right here are our Asian water monitors. So this is one of the smartest species of lizards in the world, right? They are able to differentiate their owners simply by their voice.
Look at that's incredible. Look, I'm looking at him just thinking right now. You guys know Kevin McCurley over at Nerd breeds water monitors he's got albinos, the sulfurs, the black dragons. The Asian water monitors, believe it or not, are so smart. They can learn their names. You can have them do tricks like a dolphin. I remember Brian Barczyk's video when he was at Prehistoric Pets. The dolphin, I thought it was like a little dolphin almost. But they are so cool. They're beautiful. However, they are not for everyone. They're for really advanced keepers, or what I would call accomplished keepers, for people who are 21 and older. You got to have a big space. They need a lot of water. But the benefit of that is they do their business in the water. So if you just have a good water filtration system, they wouldn't be an issue. But you got to put into a lot of work into them. They got to gain your trust, just like this gained Will's trust here.
Absolutely.
They are beautiful animals. Again, not for everyone, but if you have the space. But he's a beautiful
So you
lizard.
can actually see, this is what I love about these, you can see that third eye, right? Their pineal eye. A lot of lizards, that eye is kind of hidden, but if you look at the top of this lizard's head, you can see that bright green dot. So that is a third eye that lizards have. Your bearded dragon at home usually has a pretty dominant one that you can see as well. Wow. Now obviously that eye doesn't see like the other eyes. It doesn't see color, movements, or all that. It actually sees lights and shadows. So say your monitor, your bearded dragon, is out there in their environment basking in that sun, and this big massive hawk, this predator, comes up above, blocks the sunlight. That eye is going to alert the brain that something has covered the sun, something is above his body, and they'll know to automatically dart off. Wow. So very cool thing. Very
beautiful. Dave Kaufman recently did a video about how we keep water monitors in Thailand when he went to Thailand. So we got to check out that video. I'll put a link for that video in the description.
Retail section. Those animals over there were rescues, but these are all that we have open for the public. I also use these animals for our educational shows that we host on the weekends. I host adult Face Your Fear parties with some of these. Like, these are my new Goliath bird-eating tarantulas. They're both hiding hold on, let me see if I can't get one showing.
That'd be great.
I recently on my TikTok was just handling these little guys, which is not very recommended. They can be quite aggressive. But look at that big, beautiful guy right there. So this is still growing.
Yeah, these guys would get huge. I mean, I've heard stories of spiders up to the size of a palm.
Yes.
Bigger.
So roughly, on average, they can get 10 to 12 inches in diameter. So he is about halfway there. That's only a juvenile.
That's a beautiful. You know, guys, I'm a little bit scared of spiders and a little bit scared of scorpions, but I have held some in the past, and my fear is getting better. One of the things I always talk about is educate yourself. Will help you get over your fears, because these guys are not meaners. They're not mean. They're not out to hurt you. They're beautiful animals. So they, believe it or not, right now they're using scorpion venom in brain tumors. I think spiders is, I don't know what they're using spiders for, but some type of research. So this is a beautiful. They're beautiful in their own right. So there's nothing to be scared of. If I can get over my fear of spiders and stuff, maybe you guys can get over your fear of snakes. What other
tarantulas? This is our emperor scorpion.
Whoa.
Our big female, right? So automatically she looks like she's going to be aggressive. She would want to sting me or something like that. But as you can see, she's not using that stinger on me. There's no point, okay? Ultimately speaking, there's no point. When you look at a scorpion, the main thing to look at is
pincer size.
Yep.
The bigger the pincers, the less venomous it is. These guys have such strong pincers. I think this is a great beginner scorpion, like, well, if you had experience with other invertebrates, but these guys, look how big our pincers are. Have a, like I said, scorpion venom, using it in brain tumor research, which I think is really cool. So if you guys ever interested in like a beginner scorpion, an emperor scorpion, might be for you.
You want to know what I recently saw
What?
on these things that irks me out? So, when a tarantula feeds, it pulls the food in close to its mouth, and then the top of its head opens up, and two small pinchers come out of its head, like from Alien. Almost, right? And they hold the prey in place as he eats it. So usually when I do my shows, I ask the crowd, you can actually see the pinchers. He actually has them out right now. If you bring in you can see in his face, he's got two tiny little claws that are sticking out.
Wow.
So usually when I ask the crowd, how many pinchers does a scorpion have? Everyone answers 2. Wrong. They have 4. 2 exterior ones,
2 interior,
and 2 interior ones.
That is so cool.
So whenever I handle, I hold it right here from the tail. As you can see, he's not trying to stab me. Again, there's no point. That venom is weak.
Even if you're allergic to bees?
If you are allergic to bees, it's not recommended, right?
Okay.
So, like any of the toxins, it all depends on the person for your reaction. Myself, I have been stung by the Florida bark scorpions on several occasions. I've been stung by wasps, honeybees, all different types of stuff. So I know that my body is not susceptible to that. But I always tell people in the crowd, if you know you're susceptible to any type of bee toxin, anything like that, be very cautious when handling bugs. But for the rest of the stuff here, so this is our bug table. We have a local regal jumping spider breeder. So we have some very beautiful, healthy spiders that need new homes. Over here, you've got your spiny tail iguana, your sand boas. We have a lot of varieties. But everyone's favorite is buttercup.
Buttercup. Have a look at that beautiful berm here.
So unfortunately, her light is busted because she decided to climb and break the light yesterday. She is extremely strong. She is 13 feet long and 150 pounds of pure muscle. She is, of course, the albino Burmese python.
Yeah. You know, they really need to make exceptions. If they're worried about a Burmese python being a bigger invasive species, allow people to keep albinos, because Buttercup is not going to survive in the wild. She doesn't have the melanin. You know, I love Burmese pythons. They're not for everyone, though. They're definitely not a beginner snake. They're for advanced keepers only. If you have experience, start off with a ball python like we just showed. Work your way up, keep something like a blood python next, and then keep like a boa constrictor. Once you really have experience, then a Burmese python will be for you. It's for, and you gotta have a big space to be able to, whenever you handle them, you never want to handle them alone. You always want to make sure there's somebody on standby. But the truth is, I love seeing albino burms.
Rescue turtle pond as well as our retail turtle pond. So in here in this tank right now, I have red-eared sliders, yellow-bellied turtle. I've got a baby little mat turtle. I've got, and somewhere hiding in the rocks, I have a couple of African side necks. Now here in Florida, in the state of Florida, that dude is illegal. He is a red-eared slider. The red-eared slider is one of the most invasive species in the world. It is found on every continent except for Antarctica.
Yeah.
They dominate every body of water through aggression, dominating the food source, interbreeding with the local species, so it's no longer a pure bloodline. And then the worst part is that they've been found to drown other turtles. Whoa. The larger ones will hold on to a smaller turtle's back underwater, keeping him from being able to come up for air. And then at that point, he's now king of the jungle. Yeah,
believe it or not, I actually saw a red-eared slider when I went to South Africa. They actually are invasive all around the world. That's why they've been banned in many countries, including Europe, and all over Asia, South America, and South Africa, and Australia. Well, you're not allowed to have any exotic reptiles in Australia, but this is pretty beautiful. They're beautiful in their own right, but they're not for everyone. You gotta have a big pond. But the truth is, they are really cool. So if you have the experience, it would be a great pet.
Chameleons right here.
Chameleons.
Rainbow Jacksons over here. Cool thing about the Rainbow Jacksons, so unlike the regular Jackson's chameleon, female Rainbow Jackson chameleons are known to have a singular horn protruding out of their heads like a unicorn. Wow. So they're known for that. Now it's not 100%. Not every single female comes out like that. Some females do come out with 3 horns, but they're just much smaller than your males. But that's what the Rainbow Jacksons are known for. And then over here, my personal favorite.
Ooh, have a look.
This is my big, beautiful red panther chameleon.
Panther chameleon, yeah.
The Abanja. This is, to be specific, this is called the Abanja panther chameleon. This is the big, beautiful male, and he has a couple females hanging out with him right here.
Yeah, believe it or not, panther chameleons are actually also invasive here in Florida. I think veiled chameleons are.
Yes, panther chameleons have been found here too.
Yeah, Florida's a mess, but chameleons really aren't the best handling animals, to be honest. They're really good display animals if you want to have it out in display. Some are accustomed to handling, but not always.
Yep.
But the truth is, you got to have a screen cage so they can give it a breeze, and you have a dust, and you have a dripper, like a water dripper, so because they drink dew, they don't go to a water bowl. But they're really for advanced keepers, and they really are a display animal, not something you can handle every day.
He loves showing off those colors.
Look how beautiful he is. Now, one of the biggest myths about chameleons is that they change color to blend in with their environments. They don't. They change color to absorb more heat, or just to try and camouflage, try and make themselves look like a leaf that's floating in the wind.
Yep. It's about 13 species of reptiles that are now considered prohibited. So only zoological or educational facilities like ourselves are able to possess them. I have a small Nile monitor over there. You probably won't be able to catch him on camera.
Yep, we have a Nile here.
I've got the red tegu in here. She's burrowing. It's that time of year. I've got my big boy Quill. He is our Nile monitor. I've got a Brazilian black and white tegu in here, right over there in the back right corner. And then Vladimir, our normal Burmese python.
Yeah. Yeah, guys know when I lived in South Africa, I used to see Nile monitors a lot. I used to see wild Nile monitors. Hope to see one. Maybe I don't know if they would be up this far up north, but they're mostly South Florida. I mean, a lot of people think Nile monitors would eat their children, but they won't. They're good. They won't eat their children. Now, I used to grow up around Nile monitors. I've never attacked by one. Tegus are now banned. We got to fight this ban. USARK Florida. I'll put a link in the description. We're going to fight this ban. And of course, we got the infamous Burmese python. Well, the infamous here. But no, believe it or not, South Africa is also banned. I was also concerned about them being an invasive species. So therefore, they've also banned the possession. If you want a Burmese python and you live in South Africa, you got to have a permit, and it needs to be microchipped. Which I doubt Burmese pythons will be an invasive species.
With all of these different sized frames, these all would replicate the typical aquarium size. So you're able to come here, put your artificial aquarium right on my sand table, design it out. We have roughly about a dozen different types of rocks. We have 6 different species of driftwood. We have Carolina wood, manzanita, spider wood, all different types of stuff. Of course, all your different varieties of your gravel as well, your sand. So you can have a blast. We tell our customers all the time, please, if you're able to bring in your aquarium, if you're able to carry it, bring it in. have some fun, design it, we'll help you out, make it look as natural as possible. And then when you get out of this section, you get to our coral department. So right now we are revamping the entire area. All of this will look completely different in February of 2023. But we are right now cycling everything you see. So this is a nice little tank that we're gonna have some display fish. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're good?
In the road, you pick it up and you put it back on the ground because you're just helping him across. No, you just committed a felony. You just
even if it's
reintroduced an invasive species to the ecosystem.
Nonsense.
So what are you supposed to do with a red or slider? That ain't gonna happen.
All of these aisles to make it easy for people. Yeah. So this is actually the African cichlid aisle. Peacocks, ambunas, haps, Tanganyikians, all here. The next one is my planted and cleaners. So I've got your pleco, your plants, I've got your feeders as well.
Got your angels.
So actually all of these aquariums on this side of this aisle are all running on RO water, reverse osmosis water. So these are, you know, fish that require a little bit more pristine conditions.
Wow.
You've got your B-red shrimp. These are a very, very wicked shrimp. And then of course you've got the
discus?
Expert level discus.
Wow.
Got a little bit of an algae bloom because of water, so it's a little cloudy. But barbs I keep right here, we have roughly about 12, 15 different species of barbs alone. And then this is the tetra aisle. Of course there are much more tetra species available.
Yep.
So like in here alone you have, I'd say, a good 30 different species of tetras to choose from. Everything from your Colombians to your standard black skirts.
Nice.
The massive red devil. You go to Petco, Pet Supermarket, you find these cute little red devils for $5, $6. Big bug eyes, they're beautiful fish. People think they're absolutely adorable and pretty, right? I mean, that's a nice little color. Little do they expect.
They get this.
To this.
Future.
And this is actually still growing. This red devil right here is not the largest we've seen. I've seen them come in here almost twice as big as this one.
And they can be very aggressive towards other fish too. They can be very aggressive towards the tank meats.
Absolutely. We usually recommend this is a solitary fish.
Beautiful red pikes there.
Stupid aggressive.
Very aggressive. And you got a bunch of catfish.
This is a recent rescue, the King Kong parrot, and a little red devil with him. But an inch, half an inch for some of them. And then below is, yes, of course, our little turtles. Cute, adorable little turtles.
See one over there.
And this one here, I have your albino red-eared sliders. I've got your stink pop musk turtle. So the musk turtle, of course, is the smallest species of turtle in the world.
Oh, look how cute he is.
This will not exceed roughly about 4 or 5 inches in length. This is a perfect indoor aquarium turtle instead of buying your big old yellow belly or your cooters.
Yeah.
Ornate. Look at the beautiful carapace on that.
Look at the.
It's like someone spent time with a brush and painted every single scute. And a scute, by the way, is like what you would call, I guess, your scale, right?
Yeah.
So you got each large is your scute. Each one is painted. Look at that. Look at that.
It's so beautiful. I just wish.
Now this gets pretty big. This roughly, yes, a Central American wood turtle gets between 12 to 16 inches in diameter.
Wow.
So this does not do well for an aquarium indoors. This will require a large terrarium or in an outdoor enclosure that is able to incorporate lots of moist substrate and a large body of water. Your golds, your high yellows right here, the yellow neos are very, very wicked, very bright colored.
Yeah.
And then behind you is the rest of our freshwater fish. So you've got your gouramis over here on the left, your mollies, platies, and swordtails, our retail glowfish right here.
Yep.
And then this is my miscellaneous freshwater wall.
Yep.
You've got your rosaline shark barbs. So the reason I have this species of barb in my miscellaneous aisle is, unlike your other barbs that are not recommended for your community tanks because of their high aggression and nipping, a rosaline shark is not on the same category. It's actually closer to, say, I want to say it's closer to like a tetra or a catfish. They're very communal, very beautiful fish.
There you are.
So everyone in here would be safe in your reef. It wouldn't hurt your coral. It wouldn't eat the invertebrate that clean the coral. And this aisle over here is your not reef safe, your fish only aquarium fish. The reason why we have very limited saltwater fish compared to freshwater fish, of course, all boils down to the fact that the breeding of these is not done the same in captivity. You are required to have much larger parameters for these fish to breed, and it's just impossible. I mean, like what? You got some that have a football field of room to design on the sand just to be able to look at the pretty girl.
Yep.
You can't replicate that. So we reduce the destruction of our coral reefs by limiting the amount of saltwater fish we have and exactly where in the world we get our saltwater fish. Of course, you got some place in the world. I won't even get to how barbaric we're catching these.
Here we got some Siamese betta fish. Believe it or not, in Thailand they use these to fight each other, believe it or not, which I think is kind of barbaric. Of course, I'm an MMA fan. I train MMA, I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Thai boxing. Let me ask you, do you think it's hypocritical of me to be an MMA fan and be opposed to animal fighting? Because MMA, the ref's there to stop it when it's... But they really let these animals die, so... But let me know what you guys think in the description, because these are beautiful fish. They're solitary, but if you want to have they don't do as much space, but they're beautiful in their own right. These are really cool. If you want a good beginner fish, a betta could be for you. So Will just gave me a tour. I got to show you guys this here. Look at this. We got a bunch of, you guys can play games here. Nice bamboo here. Nice place to eat. We got a cafe here. Place you can do work. You can play a bunch of games. Look at some awesome fish. Look at some awesome reptiles. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to Extreme Exotics. I'm going to be filming with a bunch of cats and cool other stuff. So, it's pretty cool. Last thing I'm going to show you guys is we got an eel here. We got a blue starfish. This is a moray eel. Morays, believe it or not, have two jaws. They have two jaws. One at the bottom, one at the top. The bottom one grabs some prey, the other chews. Morays can range anywhere between 5 feet and up to, believe it or not, like 12 feet or something. Beautiful animals. You gotta have a big aquarium, you gotta have caves because they like to hide. But I love eels and this one is so damn beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Link for their information is going to be in the description. Show them some love. I gotta tell you, it's a great place for you to have lunch, to look at reptiles, handle them, buy one. Had a great pasta Alfredo. Let me know what your animal thought you thought was cool. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing night. Tomorrow I'm going to Extreme Exotics Foundation. I'm gonna go play with some big cats. Thanks for watching again. Have an amazing night whenever you're watching, and God bless.